Welcome. We're working with given the volume, find the missing part. So first thing here is we have a volume of a cube. There's your volume formula. So we're going to fill in 512 for volume, and that equals side cubed. Now normally you're going to use your calculator to do this, and you're going to cube root both sides. Now, if you don't have a calculator that does cube rooting, then I would suggest making a table like this one, where this is the numbers and this is the numbers cubed. In this case, there's 512, and that responds to 8 being cubed. So 8 feet is your answer here. Let's take a look at our next example. Volume of a rectangular prism, 84 centimeters cubed. Width is 6, height is 2. Find the length. So we're going to go ahead and fill in volume of 84 equals length times width times height. So this comes out to 12L equals 84. I'm going to divide by 12, and L is going to equal 7. I should probably use the same L as I did before. And of course this is 7 centimeters. Make sure you have your unit of measure. Our next one, volume of a square base pyramid is 130.67 yards cubed. Find the height is 8 yards, find the base. 130.67 equals 1/3 s squared times h, which is 8. Now 1/3 of 8, that's going to be 2 2/3, so 2.6 repeating s squared. Go ahead and leave that 0.6 repeating as what you're going to divide by. And that's 0.6 repeating. And if you do so and not round it off to 2 decimal places, s squared is going to end up equaling 49. So then when you go ahead and square root both sides to get rid of the square, S is going to be 7 yards. If you round it off, you're going to get 48.9, and that's okay as long as you remember you're going to round this off, and hopefully you get 7 or something very close. I'm going to look for something very close. All right, here's our next example. Volume of a cylinder, 1,570 feet cubed. The height is 5, and we're going to fill this in. 1,570 equals 3.14 times r squared times h. And we're solving for r. 1,570 equals, let's see, 5 times 3.14 is 15.7 r squared. You're going to need to divide by 15.7. So r squared is going to equal 100. And now I'm going to square root both sides to get r. R is going to equal 10 feet because the square root of 100 is 10. All right, let's look at our next example. And feel free to pause this as we go along in case there's something that I've gone way too fast for you to write it all down. So pause it, write it down, and then keep going. All right. Cone, there's the formula, 3617.28 equals 1/3 times 3.14. We're given radius of 12 squared times the height. Now, we know 12 squared is 144, and when we multiply 1/3 times 3.14 times 144, we end up with 150.72 H. So I'm going to divide by 150.72. And that gives me H equals 24 feet. All right, our last example. Let's see. Volume 2304 pi, notice it includes pi, equals 4/3 pi r cubed. Now, once again, I would suggest here, because we have a fraction times pi, I would even suggest divide both sides by pi. The pi's are gone. So now I have 2,304 equals 4/3 r cubed. Now when you have a fraction times your variable, to get rid of the fraction, multiply by the reciprocal, in this case 3/4. When you do so, in this case, you get 1,728 equals r cubed. Now, what we didn't have in our last table was 11 and 12. 11 is 1,331, and 12 is 1,728. So I'm going to have to cube root both sides. And so, yeah, and r is going to equal 12. And we have to have our unit, so that is yards. And there it is. That's the lesson for today. Hope that was clear.